Welcome to the Real Positive Change podcast. I'm your host, Kathy Freeman, and this is a place where art and wellness gently come together, a space where women can pause, breathe, and renew their souls. Here we talk about how artistic expression through creating, writing, and crafting becomes a powerful support for both the mind and the body. A simple practice I call Creative Reminders helps you slow your thoughts, calm your heart, and notice God's presence in your everyday life. So wherever you are today, driving, folding, laundry, or sitting with a cup of something warm, take a breath and let's begin. Okay, welcome everyone here. Let me give a little introduction, and we've had a fun time talking before, so I have to give this little, I don't want to embarrass you, but she said, can you turn my face off here so you can't see me? And I'm like, I don't think that's possible because, anyway, so this is going to be a fun conversation. And I first off, before we even start, want to thank you so much for taking your time to do this with me. All right, let me introduce this special lady. Roben-Marie Smith is a mixed media artist, instructor, and mentor. She's based in Florida. Since 2004, she has built a creative business that has taken many forms. Online classes, which I've taken some of those are really great. In-person retreats across the U.S. And she has something coming up. She posted in here, and internationally. You have something coming up here that's like in France?
I do. Italy and France in 27. Yes.
That's going to be so exciting. Okay. She has had a rubber stamp company, product lines, online memberships, and a podcast. And her work has been featured in numerous industry publications and magazines. I think I've seen your articles in one of those. Which magazine was that I saw? It's a big one.
Several, yes. Several of the Somerset the Stampington publications and some others as well. Yeah, over the years, a while. So yeah.
Yes. Along the way, she has mentored fellow artists on the tech side of running a creative business, because being a working artist means more than making art. And she has always shown up for her community in whatever way they needed. After more than 2 decades of building and showing up for others, Roben-Marie is stepping into a new season, one where she gets to practice where she has always preached, creating for herself, making art for the love of it, and letting go of the pressure to produce. She's a woman of faith, a devoted wife of 37 years, a lover of good books, fresh baked things, and mission work close to her heart. She believes art is how we find connection, and that your creative voice shows up the moment you give yourself permission to be imperfect and break a few rules. Start where you are, make something, let it be enough. That's the heart of everything she does. I love this intro. And I know, when someone has to sit there and read mine, it's like, it's very nerve-wracking. But I loved what you said here. And it leads us right into my question that I actually contacted you on. And my question for you was, sometimes when we sit down to create, we always feel like we have to, if we're going to spend time doing something, it's got to be productive. It's got to be for this, this art piece that's going to be up on the wall or displayed or something. And I've really tried to turn over this leaf for myself and put the word out that we need to let go of that pressure. And to make creativity just the fact that it's there to help us in our own personal, self, how we feel, how we relate to the world. And that is enough. And I loved how you said something up here. If I can go back for a few minutes, just up here a second. But you basically said creative voice shows up the moment you give yourself permission to be imperfect and break a few rules.
Mm-hmm. My journey has been kind of a mix, because I had been creative all my life and then eventually found my way back to creativity in more of a doing it more often. Right. And it was all, I could make a business out of this. Right. I'm very entrepreneurial. So it was like, I'll do this as a business. But then what that did was it made all the creating and the way I saw things as, can I make this a class? Can I sell this? Can this be? And so the mindset was very stressful at times, because it was, this is a business. It has to be something that can then be turned into something, right? It can be then turned into this part of the business or that part, or it's something I can sell. And it's interesting, the timing of this, because I've done the 100-day project the last 10 years. And just quickly, it's a global project that's free. It happens in the early part of the year. Anyone can just do it. You don't have to sign up. It's whatever. You just choose something that you want to do creatively for 100 days. So for 9 years, I've done that project with the mindset of, okay, I could sell them when I get done. It was more of the mindset was very different. This year I decided I'm just going to learn a skill. I just want to learn to sketch, and I just want this to be for me. And it was amazing how much I enjoyed it. It was hard. It was at times a little stressful because I was trying to push myself into a place that I hadn't gone before. I was trying to learn something, which is always kind of, scary. But it was so nice to just go in there and sketch and have it not have to be for anything but me. It was just my sketching. I could show it if I wanted, and I did. I like to share, but it was very much, it doesn't have to be a class, doesn't have to be a project. I don't have to sell this. It's nothing related to my business. It's just me. And it was so nice to just create for me and not have anything, no pressure on there to be, oh, is this going to be worthy of a class? Oh, can I do, it was just so nice. And that really just happened this year and there's been times over the years where I'm like, I just want to go and create something that just for me, even if it's ugly, even if I don't like it, I just want to go in there and do something kind of as a stress reliever, sort of as I don't know. I think creatives understand that, right? We just, that's an outlet for us. And then if it's beautiful or I like it, that's just a bonus, right? But for so long, my art and my creativity has been tied to the business. And I'm really excited to be entering into a place where, yes, I'm still going to be doing some things work-wise, but so much of it's going to just be for me. And I almost don't know how to feel about it. I don't know it's going to be weird to go in there and just go, what do I want to do today? What do I want to create today? Even if it doesn't even turn out right. It's like, because it's so foreign, because it's been so different for me for all these years. So I'm really excited about it, though.
It is very exciting. And I think you said 2 decades. So that's 20 years?
Yeah, actually plus, because I started my business in 23, 24. No, I'm sorry. 04-ish, around there. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
I started teaching in person at a local store. And then I started a stamp company. And then I started teaching at art retreats. So it kind of all really started around that time. And then it was like, oh, okay, I could stay home and do this. And I loved it. And I liked working for myself. My husband's job moved us a bit, so I had to kind of start over. So by virtue of just, hey, necessity, I could do this and I could take it wherever we end up. And so it kind of worked out that way for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally understand. I know my community is online, and I love the subscription, and mostly because I have children. Okay, 5 living, 6 children, but 5 living, and they are spread all over the place. And so as I looked at my business model, it's like, I don't want to strap myself down to where I'm in one spot. And a lot of my decisions have been based around that. Is that going to strap me down? Which is funny, but we're at the season where we, can make that choice. And, and it's nice to be able to do that. So I totally understand what you're saying. I loved how you were talking about the walking into the room and not quite sure what to make. I think I find for myself, the challenge for me is I love to just come in and do something. But then because mine is still in the business form, it's like, oh, you got to figure out how you're going to record that. That's a bother. That's a pain.
Yes. And things are so different now. I mean, when I started, we didn't even have the platforms online at the time to even offer classes or sell things. It was very early days. And things have changed so much. Even when I started, we didn't even have Instagram. So there wasn't that pressure. And now everything is about the marketing and the pressure and all the things that you have to do. It's a lot to keep up with. And it has, for me, at times, it has taken away from the joy of just doing the creativity and the sharing and the connecting, because there's this other thing that you have to put your time into. And then you're drained And then you try to be creative and you're just like, I don't have it. I just want to lay on the couch and read a book, so yeah. So things, and that's not to say that, it can't be done today. It's just very different. You're pulled so much more into the other, the tech and the marketing and all the things. Whereas then it was just different. So, but the going in there and creating and being like, it's just whatever, I want to do it for me, keeping that sketchbook or that journal where no one even has to see it. It's just for me to look back on or reflect on. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And I think social media in a way has sort of made that a little bit harder for us, because we see all the good stuff. There's a lot of bad stuff too. It's like, I just want to start. I thought about doing this and I didn't. It was just one of those whims. Let's start an account like the old days of Instagram, where you just posted whatever, and it wasn't perfect, and it was sometimes really bad. Even the photo of your food was bad. Like, who cares? Because it was just so easy, right? And there wasn't all that pressure.
Yeah, it was real life. It was like, okay, this is real life.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to throw a question at you that you weren't prepared for. That question is basically, it just stung up in my head, but I was thinking, so if you were sitting here talking to somebody, I really want to go back to that part of where we're talking about, we don't have to create to, our creativity doesn't have to prove its worth.
Right.
Like we're talking about, it can be imperfect. So I think even for myself, I do love abstract. But then sometimes I'm like, but if I'm creating, I've got to create something that's very realistic because people can connect to that. They don't understand, you know what I mean? Your brain goes through this whole loopy loop of different decisions. So we're just talking to the general public here on this podcast. We're not necessarily talking. What would you say, though, to somebody if they want to go in, and how do you loosen up? How do you get rid of that? It needs to prove its worth kind of thing. Did that question make sense, what I asked?
Yeah. I mean, it's such a mindset thing where, and I'm looking at it from my perspective as this is my business. And I do want to start that answer by saying this, because there are so many times over the years where I would be in groups of people and they always want to know what you do. And I always hated getting that question because how do you explain it, right? And then my husband would be the advocate. He'd go, oh, she does this and this. And then they would go, oh, you're a painter. No, I'm a mixed media artist. And I would always have to say, I'm not a fine artist. I'm, almost like apologizing, but I'm not the kind of artist you're thinking of because you're thinking of a gallery, painter or whatever. And I was like, why do I do that? Because it's so hard to explain. It's, and they're like, well, why do you make books? Why do you make journals? What's the purpose? What do you do with it? And I know that your audience can relate to that, because it doesn't matter if you're doing it for a business or not. We are still creatives and we're still making these things, right? And it's like, well, what's the purpose and what do you do with it? For the joy. It's the joy of doing, I've said this, it's the taking of all of these things, right? Because I'm a mixed media artist. All of these things that are seemingly unrelated. And then you put them all together and you make this thing and you go, oh, I made this. This is the coolest thing. I love this. Even if no one else understands it or gets it, it's that joy of, oh, look at this. This came from here. This came from my hands. I created this thing from these seemingly unrelated things that come together. So I think it's really just for the joy of, I did this. I made this. Right?
Yeah. Right.
I hope that answered your question. That's what I feel like. It's that, that feeling of, and then it's that, and this is what happens to me. Okay. So then I do whatever and I'm super excited about it, but it's the next day when I get up in the morning and I go, I want to go look at what I did yesterday. I want to go in there and I want to look at it and I want to touch it and all and go, and then I almost like relive that joyous moment again, because I'm just like, look at that. I didn't imagine it. I actually created something really cool that I liked. So it's for the joy. It's for the, I did this, and it's different. I guess somebody could go and they could golf, or somebody else could, I don't know, bake. But there's just something about that creating of something that didn't exist before. whether it's a messy painting or and it doesn't have to be perfect, because it's what matters is what you think about it, and what joy that brings you, even if no one even ever has to see it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Thank you. I think that did answer that perfectly.
Okay, I hope so.
Put you on the spot there. Sorry about that, but anyway.
All right. Yeah.
Yes. I was going to say, as I'm listening to you, and I don't ever want to interrupt you, so I didn't want to put this in there, but it is a journey, because you find yourself as you're creating. That's what you were saying. You'll put something down, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, what would happen if I do that? If I add that? And I've made things that at the end I'm like, I don't really like that. But then you walk away from it, give it a few days, come back, and you add a few other things or do some things to it. You don't just toss it. I mean, you could rip it up and use it for something else, and then it becomes, wonderful for that.
Right.
But to come back and to give it a second chance and do something, I think our mind processes through that, and goes, oh, what if I add this to it? And then you're going, so you at some point you're going to end up with this wonderful, joyful feeling.
That's exactly right.
Even if it's not instantaneous, give it a few days and let it kind of percolate and come forth. We're humans. I find in my own life situation, and I don't talk a lot about this lately. I did at the beginning of when I started my podcast, but we have a mentally ill son who's an older adult that lives with us. And there was some really hard times, and it's really smoothed itself out, thank heavens, lately. But I would find that when I would come in and start to create, my mind would like be able to breathe. It's like I could let go of all those concerns or the fears of different things and just sit there and put your focus. And I think that is the key, like you're saying. It's put your focus on, well, what should I put, what happens if I do this or and do you try to do a lot of pre-planning when you put something? Like some people say, well, get out certain supplies and this, or do you just walk in and go, woo, let's see what we got here today?
Yeah. My nature is not woo. Woohoo! It's not like, I tend to be, okay, the old me, the early days me was very structured and very rigid, and I was a lot different. Like just everything about my life was very different then. Now I'm way more loose, and I think that's just taken time to just let things go and go, that doesn't matter. But I do like to let's say I'm going to be doing, making a book or a journal or doing some project like that. I would tend to go through my fabrics and go through my papers and see what am I attracted to? Like I love that, and gather all those things up, and then just kind of place them down, figure out maybe what I want to do, and then start. But I think there is a little bit of an element of gathering and seeing, okay, because one day I might go in and say, you know what, I think I want to make a zipper pouch. Well, that's a whole different thing than making a journal. So I think it just depends on what I'm in the mood to create. And I'm one of those people, and I don't know if your audience can relate to this. I'm a cycler. Like I go through these cycles where, and I don't know if that's a good thing or bad, where I'm obsessed with something and I'll do it for like a month, and then I'm like, okay, I'm ready to move on. And then I go to the next thing, but it's like, okay, as a result, I now have a drawer full of zippers and sewing supplies. But then it's like, all right, but when I'm ready and it hits me again, I'll just come right back around and I'll do it again, because I think I'm easily bored. I'm easily like, oh, okay, now I want to make books, or now I want to do this. And so the good thing is I can cycle back around and then just do it again later when it hits me that that's something I want to explore more. So I don't know. I think a lot of us are like that though.
Roben-Marie, you, I think, just encapsulated, whatever that word is, encapsulated why we love to be a mixed media artist, because yes, we could classify ourselves as this or that, or painter, or a drawer, or a sketcher, or whatever. But there is too many wonderful things. I do the exact same thing.
Yes.
And that's what I think that's why.
Yeah, I get bored too easily. Like if it was said, okay, this is the only thing that you can do creatively for the rest of your life, I would be like, I can't do that. I can't. It's like, because after 100 days of sketching, I was like, all right, I'm ready to put that aside for now. And my brain is a little tired of that. I'm ready to move on to something else. It's like, what now? And then, but it works, and it's like, because then Because then every time that happens, I'm re-excited all over again about whatever that is. It's like, just when I thought you can't get any more excited about making handmade books and journal. Oh, yes, I can. Because there'll be something else that will go, oh, I could try that with it. And I could do this. And oh, look at the. So it's a constant, there's always excitement, I think, when you're doing media. Yeah.
And I've found, and I don't, this is how I kind of classify you, so I hope it's correct, but I kind of classify you as an explorer and somebody who is always, trying something, not just within what you've got on your table, but other things. Like you say, make the zipper pouch. You've sent off and made your own fabric. I don't even know all the lists, to tell you the truth. But, over all these years, so many different things. It's like, hey, let's try that, which I think is wonderful and a wonderful trade. So that gives everybody that's listening permission. Yeah. Just go for it. Just don't worry about, and I think the key here is don't worry about what other people think about it. Right? Exactly.
Because what matters is what you think about it and how it makes you feel when you're creating. And if you want to share. If you don't, then don't. But I think like I said, I think there's just that inherent pressure to be like, oh, I got to share this on social media. So I have to make sure it looks right. And I got to make sure, I got to take photographs while I'm doing it and all. And then it just becomes work and stressful. And then you just end up not doing it. Or you're just it's not as enjoyable as it could be if it was just, what do you enjoy? What do you want to explore? Just go do that. And then see where it leads to, right? See where it goes. Yeah. Yeah. I don't worry about all those pictures in between. I just take it at the end. If I did, I wouldn't get anything done.
There you go. Yeah. Roben-Marie, let me ask you, I know you're closing down your membership at the end of this year, and I know you've got a lot of sad women about that, but let's stay on the happy note here. Mm-hmm. You also have some classes. Where can somebody, if they want to find out some more, where could they, are your classes that you have already closed that are crossed over in Italy and France? Are you still opening? Is that still open, or where can they contact you?
Yeah, Italy is in May of 27, and I believe at the filming of this, there's 2 spots still left. I think two, and then I just got back word from France. That's early September. It's like the very last day of August into September, and I think there's 2 more now on that. We had another. We've been. Signups have been happening. I know that's so far out, but they do book early. So there are a couple spots left on that. My website is robenmarie.com. And then I also have on that site, the easiest thing to do is just go there and you'll see courses and workshops, and you can click for more information about my online courses that I have that are separate from the membership. And then also those 2 art retreats that are shown. That's the easiest way to find the information about those. But okay. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I know you have a lot of online courses, really fascinating online courses. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and sign this off. And I want to tell you thank you again so much for being a part of this and sharing your experience and your knowledge in that with us. All right.
Thank you for asking me. I really, thank you so much for letting me be here and to talk about art and creativity.
If today's episode encouraged you, share it with a friend. You can also visit me at realpositivechange.com for creative reminders, journaling prompts, and simple practices to carry you into your week. Until next time, take a small moment to create, to notice, and to begin again.